I go for refuge to Buddha, my deeply awakened mind, the living source of understanding and compassion, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to Dharma, the path of mindful living, leading to healing, joy, and enlightenment, the way of peace, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to the Sangha, the loving and supportive community of practice, realizing harmony, awareness, and liberation, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I am aware that the three jewels are within my heart. I vow to realize them. I vow to understand living beings and their suffering. I vow to cultivate loving kindness and compassion, and to practice joy and equanimity. I vow to live simply and sanely, content with few possessions, and to keep my body healthy. I vow to let go of all worry and anxiety in order to be light and free. I am aware that I owe so much to my parents, teachers, friends, and all beings. I vow to be worthy of their trust, to practice wholeheartedly, so that understanding and compassion will flower, and I can help living beings be free from their suffering. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. The Maha Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra. The Bodhisattva of great compassion from the deep practice of Prajna Paramita perceived the emptiness of all five skandhas and delivered all beings from their suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is emptiness, emptiness form. The same is true of feeling, thought, impulse, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They are not born nor annihilated. They are not defiled nor immaculate. They do not increase nor decrease. So in emptiness, no form, no feeling, no thought, no impulse, no consciousness. No eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. No form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or objects of mind. No realm of sight, no realm of consciousness. No ignorance, nor extinction of ignorance. No old age and death, nor extinction of them. No suffering, no cause of suffering, no cease from suffering, no path to lead out of suffering, no knowledge, no attainment, no realization, for there is nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva holds on to nothing but prajna paramita. Therefore the mind is clear of any delusive hindrance. Without hindrance there is no fear. Away from all perverted views, one reaches final nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future, through faith in prajna paramita, attain to the highest perfect enlightenment. Know then the prajna paramita is the great Dharani, the radiant peerless mantram, the utmost supreme mantram, which is capable of allaying all pain. This is true beyond all doubt. Proclaim now the highest wisdom, the prajna paramita. Gate, gate, para, gate, para samgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, para, gate, para samgate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, para, gate, para samgate, bodhisvaha. The Maha Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra. So good morning once again. As you can see, we are back in the temple. Yongsu is sitting behind me, assisting today. And it's wonderful to be with you all. Buddhist holidays are honored at various times during the calendar year due to differences between Buddhist schools of thought, the geographic and cultural differences between the areas in which Buddhism spread millennia ago, and the calendar systems used by these various places. For example, the Buddha's birthday is celebrated by some in late April, like this temple celebrates it. Other schools of Buddhism honor the Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and death all together, either in May or June, depending on the school. Some honor the Buddha's birth on April 8th. And the way Buddhists celebrate the Buddha's birthday also depends on geography and cultural influences. Some celebrations involve lantern making or bathing a baby Buddha, and most include sharing a meal with the Sangha. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we're still not able to engage in any of these rituals together, so we're going to do a little something different a little bit later in the talk. Birthdays in the US are typically kind of a big deal. We celebrate with our family or friends, many times with a meal or a party. Some folks celebrate milestone birthdays with more enthusiasm than other years. And of course, birthdays would not be complete without making a secret wish before blowing the candles out on a birthday cake, singing happy birthday, and receiving gifts from loved ones. Births are also a reason to rejoice. The beginning of a new life fills us with joy and offers a beautiful reason to celebrate. So today, let's talk a bit about the birth of the Buddha and what his birth means to all of us who follow his path. The birth of Siddhartha Gautama happened 2,645 years ago in Lumbini province in Nepal. In modern times, this area is now part of northern India. And there's a sutra that describes the birth of the Buddha, and it was written down hundreds of years after his death. And in the sutra, the scenario begins like this. There were a group of monks gathered together to eat after returning from their alms rounds. After finishing their meal, they started talking about how important the Buddha's teachings are and how amazing it is that the Buddha has the ability to recall the lives of all of the Buddhas of the past in great detail. As they are talking, the Venerable Ananda joins them. And Ananda is the Buddha's personal attendant, and he himself has a photographic memory. So he remembers every teaching the Buddha has given word for word. And Ananda agrees that the Buddha has wonderful and marvelous qualities, and he's about to continue expounding on this when suddenly the Buddha himself enters and sits down. And the Buddha asked the group what they were talking about before he came in, and so they tell him. And then the Buddha kind of puts Ananda on the spot and asks him to explain more fully what the wonderful and marvelous qualities are of the Buddha. So Ananda searches his memory and recalls all of the wonderful and marvelous things that he heard the Buddha say over the years. And he comes up with this list of 15 things that center around the Buddha's birth. While every birth is indeed wonderful and marvelous, we can imagine that the birth of such a great leader as the Buddha must have been truly exceptional, especially to those in that day and age. So the things that Ananda talks about here have kind of a myth-like quality and are probably greatly exaggerated according to the time and the culture that he lived in, so that they would make a good story that would be inspiring to others and easily remembered. This is important context to share before reading the 15 qualities. Now I'll read through those 15 things that Ananda recited. But before I begin the sutra, let's take a moment to light your candles and either hold it in front of you so that everyone can see it, or simply set it in a safe spot, still hopefully so everyone can see it. If you're not able to do that and keep it safe, then it's fine just to have it lit. And we'll pause just for a couple seconds for everyone to get situated. And if you don't have a candle handy, please simply put your hands together in Hapchang. We will ring a bell between each of the 15 qualities and 3 bells to end the sutra reading. So at this time, please bring your full awareness to the sound of the following words. From the Acharya Abhuta Sutta 123, from the Majjhima Nikaya, the middle-length discourses of the Buddha. Wonderful and marvelous. That mindful and fully aware, the Bodhisattva appeared in the Tushita heaven. Mindfully and fully aware, the Bodhisattva remained in the Tushita heaven. For the whole of his lifespan, the Bodhisattva remained in the Tushita heaven. The Bodhisattva passed away from the Tushita heaven and descended into his mother's womb. When the Bodhisattva passed away from the Tushita heaven and descended into his mother's womb, then a great immeasurable light, surpassing the splendor of the gods, appeared in the world with its gods, its Maras, and its Brahmas. In this generation with its recluses and Brahmins, with its princes and its people. And even in those abysmal world interspaces of vacancy, gloom, and utter darkness, where the moon and the sun, mighty and powerful as they are, cannot make their light prevail, there too a great immeasurable light, surpassing the splendor of the gods, appeared, and the beings born there perceived each other by that light. When the Bodhisattva had descended into his mother's womb, 4 young deities came to guard him at the 4 quarters, so that no humans or non-humans or anyone at all could harm the Bodhisattva or his mother. When the Bodhisattva had descended into his mother's womb, she became intrinsically virtuous, refraining from killing living beings, from taking what is not given, from misconduct in sensual pleasures, from false speech, and from wines, liquors, and intoxicants, which are the basis of negligence. Not part of this sutra, but of course these are the 5 moral precepts. When the Bodhisattva had descended into his mother's womb, no kind of affliction arose in her. She was blissful and free from bodily fatigue. She saw the Bodhisattva within her womb with all his limbs, lacking no faculty. Seven days after the birth of the Bodhisattva, his mother died and reappeared in the Tushita heaven. The Bodhisattva's mother gave birth after carrying him in her womb for exactly 10 months. When the Bodhisattva came forth from his mother's womb, he did not touch the earth. The 4 young gods received him and set him before his mother, saying, "Rejoice, O Queen, a son of great power has been born to you." When the Bodhisattva came forth from his mother's womb, he came forth unsullied, unsmeared by water or humors or blood or any kind of impurity, clean and unsullied. Suppose there were a gem placed on a kasi cloth, then the gem would not smear the cloth, or the cloth the gem. Why is that? Because of the purity of both. As soon as the Bodhisattva was born, he stood firmly with his feet on the ground. Then he took 7 steps north, and with a white parasol held over him, he surveyed each quarter and uttered the words of the leader of the herd. "I am the highest in the world. I am the best in the world. I am the foremost in the world. This is my last birth. Now there is no renewal of being for me." When the Bodhisattva came forth from his mother's womb, then a great immeasurable light, surpassing the splendor of the gods, appeared in the world with its gods, its Maras, and its Brahmas, in this generation with its recluses and Brahmins, with its princes and its people, and even in those abysmal world interspaces of vacancy, gloom, and utter darkness, where the moon and the sun, mighty and powerful as they are, cannot make their light prevail, there too a great immeasurable light, surpassing the splendor of the gods, appeared, and the beings born there perceived each other by that light. And there ends the reading. Please feel free to make your candles safe, put them down, make yourself comfortable again. And yes, first and foremost, make your candles safe. So when Ananda was finished reciting the 15, the Buddha said, "That being so, Ananda, remember this too as a wonderful and marvelous quality of the Tathagata," which is kind of an honorary title for the Buddha. "Here, Ananda, for the Tathagata, feelings are known as they arise, as they are present, as they disappear. Perceptions are known as they arise, as they are present, as they disappear. Thoughts are known as they arise, as they are present, as they disappear. Remember this too, Ananda, as a wonderful and marvelous quality of the Tathagata." And in that moment, the Buddha moved aside the veil of myth that separated him from all of the other monks who were seated there and pointed out to them the very purpose of their practice: to know and be mindfully aware of feelings, perceptions, and thoughts as they arise, as they are present, and as they disappear. This is the practice that leads to the end of suffering. And so Ananda repeated what the Buddha said in order to commit it to memory, and the Buddha approved, and all the monks were satisfied and delighted with this teaching. So today we honor the Buddha's birthday. More than 100 generations ago, a man was born into the world who would break the bonds of his own suffering and find a path to peace. And not only did he achieve this great awakening, he taught others, who in turn taught others, down the lineage to us, in this moment, together, in this Dharma hall and in your homes, wherever you are. Typically in this country, as I mentioned, when one has a birthday, we offer that person a gift to recognize and honor their birth and their life. In the case of the Buddha, the only gift to mention is that which he left for us, his teachings. And this gift of his teachings is definitely not a no assembly required gift. This gift comes in 3s and 4s and 5s and 8s and 27s and 108s. And we must unwrap and assemble this gift ourselves. No one can do that for us. Although a teacher may offer the Dharma like I am today in a talk such as this, we must still see the truth of our teachings, of the teachings for ourselves. We must integrate the teachings into our way of being to the best of our ability, and no one can help us do this. The Buddha was his own healer, his own physician. We are our own healer, our own physician. It is up to us to become aware of and embrace our own Buddha nature, the innate perfection that we all possess, our capacity to awaken that is within our grasp to realize at any moment. Today we honor the Buddha's birthday by reminding ourselves that as human beings, we are all born with the same capacity for love and compassion that the Buddha himself embodied and taught to others. His experience of suffering was no different than ours, and yet he discovered a way out of suffering through training his mind and heart, and he left behind a clear path for us to follow. The Buddha taught that at every waking moment, we have the capacity to awaken by following the path that he has gifted to us, the gifts of his teachings for the benefit of ourselves and all beings. Please prepare for meditation. From the Dhammapata Verses 190 to 192. Take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and you will grasp the Four Noble Truths: suffering, the cause of suffering, the end of suffering, and the Noble Eightfold Path that takes you beyond suffering. That is your best refuge, your only refuge. When you reach it, all sorrow falls away. And we bow. To close our service today, please turn to page 9 in the rituals booklet to recite the closing gathas. For all unskillful action ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thoughts, now I atone for them all. Vast is the robe of compassion, a formless field of benefaction. I wear the Buddha's teachings for the benefit of all sentient beings. All beings, one body, I vow to liberate. Endless blind passion, I vow to uproot. Dharma gates without number, I vow to penetrate. The great way of Buddha, I vow to attain.